This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Dr. Tim Corn, the Chief Medical Officer at Oxford Cannabinoid Technologies, following the agreement to do a phase 1 randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled dose escalation study to evaluate the safety tolerability of the pharmacokinetics of their program 2. Well, thank you for joining us today. Tim, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Mark, and it's good to be on the program again.
Well, thank you very much. Lots of words in my introduction there, but I mean, before we talk about the phase 1 trials and when they might start, let's just talk a little bit about what this is going to be treating, which is of course trigeminal neuralgia. Could you just perhaps tell us again what trigeminal neuralgia is and perhaps the market size for treatment of this condition?
Yes, certainly. Trigeminal neuralgia is one of the most painful conditions known to medicine, really. And it occurs when the trigeminal nerve, which provides nervous supply to the face, malfunctions in such a way as to generate pain. So it's a neuropathic pain. It's a chronic condition, but it occurs in episodic flashes of extreme pain. Currently treated with surgery sometimes, with a range of drugs, most of them unapproved, and usually inadequately controlled. So our expectation is that Program 2, the medical device in Program 2, will be able to be a really powerful adjunct to the existing treatments and bring efficacy where efficacy isn't present at the moment. As for market size, well, the incidence is said to be, and the prevalence actually is said to be about 0.1%. So it's a relatively small indication, probably an orphan drug, well, definitely an orphan. The global market size for neuropathic pain is around $60 billion. So that's an enormous sum of money. We would hope to get a fairly substantial slice of that if we can achieve our ambition of bringing a really effective treatment to this currently poorly treated condition.
Okay. And of course, this has been worked on by the company for quite some time now. Can you elaborate a bit more on the treatment you've developed, or is it a company secret? And talking in terms of what it might be, how it might be administered, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not a secret. It's a combination of phytocannabinoids, and that means compounds that are actually found in the plant, although we synthesize them. So it's a combination of THC and CBD. The novelty is the administration device, which is an inhaler, medical device inhaler, such as you might have seen people using for asthma.
Okay.
Or indeed use yourself. And so that what we expect is that the very rapid delivery will bring a level of efficacy that isn't seen when those same compounds are given in a more chronic oral dosing format.
Okay. And this has been tested on a small scale, has it? I know obviously when phase 1 does commence, that's really the first go, isn't it, to make sure that the treatment is safe effectively on use of patients, that it doesn't cause any untoward effects there. But have you got some early indications on early tests that your treatment here has promise?
What we have is circumstantial evidence, in a sense, in that we know that this combination of cannabinoids is effective in neuropathic pain. We also know that delivering quickly is a very good thing to treat acute pain. So the logical conclusion is that we should be able to bring an enhanced level of efficacy by delivering what we know are efficacious compounds, but delivering them quickly.
Fast, yeah. Okay, so if someone feels the pain coming on, they in theory whip out the inhaler and take it, and hopefully that will cease the onset of this pain. Okay, Well, this is the announcement. The announcement that you've agreed to partner to do the phase 1, but it's not the actual start of phase 1. But you've partnered with Ingenu. Can I ask you a little bit about who they are, why you've partnered with them? They're obviously based in Australia. Is that deliberate? Is that because there's a market more over in Australia, or just simply because that's where they're based and you like working with them?
It's deliberate, and it's based on the fact that they're a CRO that has a very global kind of outlook. In fact, they describe themselves as being FDA focused, and that's exactly what we found when we interviewed them as part of the elaborate process we did of working through CROs to locate the best one. The fact that they're in Australia has financial advantages because of the government's very favourable treatment of research and development operations. But really, the quality of their work and their experience in looking at this category of drug is what led us to make a contract with them.
Okay. And have you scoped out the details of phase 1 yet, or is that still to be worked on?
No, the protocol is virtually ready for my signature.
Okay.
And the regulatory package that we'll need to submit to the Australian authorities is similarly, on the verge of being signed. So now that the contract is signed, we can go full steam ahead and get on.
Okay. Could you share any further details on how the phase 1 would work then, in terms of, the size of the group, how long it is planned to run for, but also what we will entail? As in my introduction, there was lots of things like double-blind, placebo-based. So if you can give a bit more colour on that, that would be quite useful.
Essentially what happens is that groups of 8 individuals, volunteers, are randomised to receive the drug or placebo, and in a ratio of 6-2, actually, so that more get drug than get placebo. And they get a single dose, the first 8. And if all goes well with that, the next 8 come along and they get a single dose at a higher level. And similarly, until you feel that you've reached a point where you've established the single dose that is going to be well tolerated and provide you with the blood levels that you need to provide the analgesia. So having done that and got the single dose, you then move into the multiple ascending dose phase, the MAD phase, as we call it, which is very similar. Again, groups of 8 individuals, randomized 6-2 to get drug or placebo. But this time, they get the treatment for a period of time, a week. And if that's fine, take the dose up a little. And so at the end of it, what you get is the dose that you will take into patients in phase 2.
Right. Okay. Well, you mentioned that it's just waiting your signature. So I'm assuming you could start immediately or very, very soon. When's the targeted start date?
Well, there's quite a lot to do with regard to setting up the study and getting the volunteers to be consented and have their medical examinations. But we hope to be dosing the first individual in this quarter.
Okay.
And we would hope to complete the clinical phase of the study in the 3rd quarter and the reporting phase in the 4th.
Okay. Well, quite an active year then. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I'm sure we'll be speaking again perhaps when that that clinical trial starts. We can talk a bit about how it's going or what you can do or what comes after that phase 1. But for now, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Tim Corn, the CMO at Oxford Cannabinoid Technologies.
It's been a pleasure, Mark. Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.